I love this tool. This is we're going really really deep here, and this I call this the pistol parable, and it's the reminder that you always have a choice. So often in our lives, we feel we don't have a choice. And especially going back to, oh, we're in an election year, it's like, great, you know, my choice is between arsenic and cyanide. Well, it's still a choice. So what this story is, we often say, well, it was like I had a gun to my head. Well, let's take it literally for a moment. So play this game with me, and let's take this idea of having a gun to your head literally. So immediately your fear instinct kicks in, the survival instinct kicks in, and you think, I'm going to die. Okay, now we're at conclusion. There are a million possibilities. Even if you don't take action at all, even if you're completely passive, there are a million other things that could happen other than you living or dying. Well, I mean, yeah, well, you're going to live or you're going to die. But as far as the way it goes, you know, if you think I'm going to die, maybe not. You don't know if the gunman actually has the guts to pull the trigger. You don't know if the gun is loaded. You don't know if the gunman knows how to use the gun. Maybe the safety's on. Maybe it misfires. I've read stories where people have been shot in the head, point blank. I mean, literally, gun against the skull, and the bullet has entered the skull, wrapped around the inside of the skull, exited the other side, no damage, no hurt, no nothing. So even if you just stand there and accept your doom, you still might live and walk away completely unscathed. Conversely, and more morbidly, you know, you could end up maimed, brain damaged, you know, really messed up, a vegetable, and still live. Or you can get killed instantly. So that's a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of possibilities, other than just die, that you didn't even think of in that moment. And this is without you even doing anything. So now let's say you do something. What can you do? I didn't have a choice. He put a gun to my head and asked me for my money, so I didn't have a choice but to give him the money. Well, you could try reasoning. You could try crying. You could try screaming. You could try running away. You could try fighting. You could try hitting the ground. So I don't know how many that was, 5, 6, 7. Boom, 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 just like that. You've got choices. Now, okay, realistically speaking, somebody puts a gun to your head and says, give me your wallet, you're probably going to give it to them. And if once you step away from the situation, you go, well, you know, based on all the possibilities of the gun misfiring or him not pulling the trigger or me fighting and winning or running and escaping, I made the conscious and empowered choice to hand over my wallet. Awesome. You made an empowered choice, which is really different. Even though the action is the same, the emotion behind it is so different than I'm a victim and I didn't have a choice. I read a story fairly recently about a guy who was mugged on the subway. A kid came up to him, and I don't remember if it was a knife or a gun, but he asked for his wallet, and the guy turned around and gave it to him, but then said, hold on, can I just, I don't have enough money to get home now, can I just have $20 out of the wallet? And the kid was like, what? The guy's talking to him like he's a human being and just like asking him a favor, so he gave him the wallet. So he gave him the $20, and there was still a bunch of cash in there, and he could have just turned and run, but the kid just was so stunned that he stood there for a second not knowing what to do. So the guy says, listen, you obviously have a real strong reason for doing what you're doing. So you know, if you want to keep the money, that's cool. But would you mind if I had my wallet back? Just because it's got my ID and all that stuff. And again, the kid was like, whoa. So he gave him the wallet. And then the guy says, can I buy you dinner? And he went. The guy gave him the money, minus the $20 and his wallet, and they actually went to dinner, and they talked. And this is just one of the most amazing stories that I've ever read, and it just so totally exemplifies this idea that the choice of live or die, that limited, finite choice, is bullshit. We always have choices. We may not like them. The choices may take us so far out of our comfort zone, but we always have choices. And when you realize that, the power that you feel when you make empowered, conscious choices, that changes your life, because that is the difference between being a victim and standing in your power. Even if you lose your money, even if you lose the fight and get beat up, even if you get shot, you're living from a place of empowerment and choice and option, as opposed to just being a victim.